Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today we're going to be taking a look at Borderlands 3. And you're thinking, why Borderlands 3? Well, this is the first new Opinion Machine I've done with my new PC. I finally got that built, and the plan was always to get Borderlands 3 on a new machine to see. If you don't know, I had a lot of issues with it on my old computer. I had to run it on low, I had a lot of visual bugs, a lot of audio bugs. It wouldn't load up the game, cutscenes, all that good stuff. So here we are, and today we're going to just be taking a look at how it runs on this machine. Now bear in mind, this is more of a budget PC. It's still a significant upgrade over my old one, but it isn't got like the high-tech kind of graphics cards and things. It does have a Ryzen 7 3000 and something 8 core in there. There is 16 gig RAM. This is a overclocked 8 gig 580 AMD in there. So it's still a significant upgrade over my current PC. So you're going to see in the top right corner of this entire footage that it says it's got the frame counter. I am trying to get the game to run 60 and above consistently. Currently with my settings on is how I like it, but there's a few interesting things I want to point out. So yeah. This is currently on the high settings, and as you can see, I'm on Pandora. I'm actually near the start of the game, and looking from this direction, we're looking at almost 70 frames, and then turning around, going in this direction, you're starting to see those frame drops down to 50. So it's interesting that Pandora, and I'm assuming this is the draw distance and things like that. We'll go over a few things that I can tweak that make this make significant difference to what I'm doing here, but I'll just show you what I've got it on so far, options wise. Advanced. So this is DirectX 12. So this is I think it just did all the shaders and stuff. That's just recently done that. We have it on. I've got overall quality set to high, and you can see that there's most of these things are set to high. Volumetric fog here seems to be the thing that really tanks. So I stick this up on high. You can see it's dropping down to like 40 frames. I'll put it back on medium. It's going more up to like 50. And if I turn it off, I believe that'll, looking in this direction, that'll get it running at 50 most of the time. You can definitely see it's a little bit on the choppy side. So, but anyway, let's go through these. I also have it capped at 120 frames, by the way. Like, I don't need it to be above that. I mean, I don't even need it to be higher than 60, but let's just slap this in on low to start with, and you can see the difference. Massive difference. So this is playing on low. Even on low, this runs like way higher. This is like double the frame count I had. I had it like 40. I hardly ever reach 60 frames, and that's like consistent, by the way.
It's time to fight!
I know, obviously I'm really over leveled for what's going on here, but like,
the hunt sings.
There's no, it's not really dipping below 80. We're getting up to higher frame rates over here because we're not loading them much. Whee. Slide around. You can see it's up to 100 frames. It runs very well on low on this machine. It's actually, to be fair, I would happily play it at this, but I do kind of like it having the higher counts. You can see if I turn around, like, this area is pretty good. I think maybe this is, spoilers by the way, is causing some issue. Oh, maybe not. I'm getting more frames there than I am looking here. It's something to do with the draw distance, and I believe, like, stuff over there. The interesting thing, and I'll show you with Necrodefeo, like, I don't get the same issues. So there's something going on with Pandora that's clearly causing issues. But yeah, generally the game runs pretty fucking great on low, which I would be okay with, but knocking things up, we go to medium, and we're getting around about 70. Yeah, we're getting a fairly decent amount. Generally, we're not getting. I mean, to be fair, like, if you're getting between 70 and 80 frames, and you're that kind of person, I've got 60 frames.
The hunt takes all.
So there's no real. Me getting higher than that's kind of a bit pointless. Let's deal with you. Aha! Great gun. But you can see the game's just running like pretty fucking great. Like, much better than it was on my old machine. If you watched any of my old videos, you would have seen that it was all very much a case of it just didn't run very well. So that was always an issue. Ah, get away from me, scum! But yeah, pretty well. So now we'll slap it onto high. I'm going to show you how it runs with the other ones as well. So does this have volumetric fog on? Yeah, so this is on high. So I don't play with volumetric fog on high, and you can see it's tanked massively. Like we're looking at 50 frames. Hi then. Switch out the gun. Get down. There's nothing more fun than sliding into a dude. Bang. But yeah, you know, you can see the significant difference. If I turn volumetric fog off in this area, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually runs more nearer to 60. Let's find out. So obviously the good thing is you can customize a lot of this. Just turn it off. Yeah. So the fog is interesting. I assume it's how much stuff is covered, like more realistic lighting. Let's have a look. Was it actually safe for that? So what is it? Set the quality of fog volumes rendered in the scene. A higher quality will render more accurate fog relative to surrounding. Oh, okay. So it's like the object stuff. So yeah, okay. Now we've turned it off. It runs pretty well. Let him go and shoot that stuff. But yeah, watch how when I run from this area to the next area. So we've got 60 frames currently, getting up to like 65, and as soon as I run around this corner, at 70. Oh, dropping back down. And as soon as you start to see stuff off in the distance, you can tell that the game, my version of the game, starts to struggle a little bit. You know, it's somewhere between 60 and 55 frames, essentially. Yeah, grab me that.
I can shatter that crystal. Don't hold back!
And let's go have a little gander over here. We're just watching it. So that's more like 60, 50. So there's definitely something with things off in the distance in this, which seems to be causing some issues. Let's get into some more combat. See how it gets on around here, because like I said, I can actually play it on higher settings, but it's more, it would be better if it was capped at 30 frames if I do that.
The hunt continues.
This area seems to
yours
be
won't.
okay-ish, probably around 60. But
The thrill of the hunt.
if anything, like, it's nice being able to play the game at a more consistent frame rate. Obviously, I would probably adjust a few settings to make sure it's pretty much near 60 the entire time. But Pandora seems to be like different than Echo de Feo, which I'll show in a sec. It just seems to be a case of Pandora just has issues. Die. Right, let's go somewhere else. Let's get out of combat.
I hear you, beast.
Run all the way over it. Right, now if we go over to, let's go to Necro de Feo, and let's go to Desolation's Edge, and we will spawn here. Now I found that this particular planet, I don't know what it is, but it just seems to run better. I'm not sure what's going on with Pandora versus this to make it so significant, to the point where I'm running around with these settings on with about 80 frames, no problem. So we'll see how it goes up. You see it's going, it's climbing. Probably those two idiots start talking in a second. We're at 60. Let's see if it gets higher than this. Come out of here. 60 frames. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And now it's just climbing. And, you know, there's still a lot of stuff in the distance. And this is odd, because I don't know what like, to me, I'm not really sure what's causing the game to be running at a higher frame rate. Maybe there's less stuff going on? Turn around a bit. Oh, let's get run over in the process. Sorry,
Let
mate.
the hunt take you.
Ow. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, 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 ooh, ah. What the hell is this? Look at that. So we get into some combat. Now, yeah, this is the thing I noticed. I will also show off Sanctuary, because it seems that Sanctuary is the place where this game has a lot to load, and it really has an issue with it. But yeah, we'll go in here and shoot some Maliwan guys. But yeah, I just a little bit confusing. I generally thought all the planets would be fairly similar. I wasn't expecting this to run better than Pandora. But, you know, if it does, it does. I mean, this is quite a rich environment of enemies as well, and there's a lot of stuff going on here, and you can see it's like a bit lower in here.
Competition.
But it seems
I
to
want
be...
to see what your guts look like.
It seems to be kind of like, I don't know what's being rendered, essentially, that's causing some issues.
Drop it in.
No, you're not. Get out of it. Obviously, I'm massively over leveled, but we're not here to just watch me play. I'm just kind of getting... If you've been keeping an eye on the FPS counter at the top just to see, like, what's going on, then... Oop, bye then.
I send you all to death.
Oh, that's amazing. He died in the air. But generally, like, getting the game to run at this kind of more consistent frame rate, I would say, between, you know, 60 to 80 generally, is awesome, because we are planning on playing, or I'm going to plan on playing through the game again anyway, hopefully with the boys, at some point. But, you know, I can knock things up to, if I go on to visuals and knock things up to ultra, it goes to badass, so go on ultra, camera blur off, nobody wants camera blur. And we'll just turn the fog off as well, because we'll see how well it runs now. So this is closer to between... We're still running at 60. You know, taking the fog off and running around, I'm getting 60 frames. So technically I could probably play it at this. So I don't necessarily need the fog part of it. But you can see, like, it's kind of weird how much that volumetric fog affects things, I guess, but it's a very intensive thing. But also... how much better this planet seems to run. Let's go have a look over here. See, I'm getting like 80, oh sorry, 70 frames there. Well, yeah, almost 80. So that way, on more objects and things going on, it's definitely going to get a bit lower. So that's kind of interesting. Now, obviously, I will probably just play it on high. I don't necessarily need the visuals. I mean, they do look nice on badass, I'm not going to lie. Stop turning this stuff on. Nobody wants it. Volumetric fog on ultra. If I put it on, if I leave this on, look how much it tanks. I mean, yeah, the game looks great, but look at that. It just choppy. If I turn the fog off, can I get it to run on badass? I guess. Because I don't feel like this game should be that intensive, but you know. Turn that off, and I've got significant. I got about 10 frames out of that. But I mean, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't play the game at this because, yeah, it looks fucking stunning, like this. But as far as I'm concerned, I want to get a clean 60. Can I get 60 frames? Anywhere? No. But the game, like, the difference between playing
It's
it
time
on
to fight.
and this is significant. But you can definitely see it looks a little bit choppy. It's not nowhere near where I want it to be. So let's just stick it back on. In fact, let me go to show you one more example of the game running kind of weirdly. Let's go to Sanctuary here. Now, this is for some reason the place that might be because it's loading a lot of assets in a very small area. But I honestly would have expected the planets to run worse than this, because all you're doing is rendering. I mean, I assume the game only renders so much at a time. So watch the frame rate. I doubt this is going to get higher than 40. Ooh, actually got close to 50 there. But you can see, if I do this and look out into space, I can actually get it really high on there. I'll get up to like 70 frames. But this, it does not like this, and you'll see it will just keep dropping and dropping and dropping because it's loading in a ton of things. And we'll probably the lowest it will get will be 40 frames, but you can see there's like visual stutter, there's all kind of things going on here. Look at that. So this seems to be one of the places that seems to really drop down the frame rate. We'll go in here. Let's go have a look. Can we get it to
Please
tank?
don't kill me! Sorry! Hi!
Now, if I knock that down, and the visuals to what I have been using it on, oh, high, and then we turn it off. Good old volumetric fog, because we don't need you. Look at more like 60 frames, but it's still weird that this area doesn't particularly run that well. I mean, again, I wasn't expecting my machine to be running it at the absolute max when I got this. Like, I can play it on probably ultra and have a really good time with it if I just mess around with some of the settings, because I haven't spent a huge amount of time looking at all of those settings. So like, I could go in there and probably tinker with them and get, you know, making the game look really nice and just take away some of the biggest things that cause it to tank frames. But the point of this video was more so to to see the improvement that this newer machine would do, and obviously it was going to be better, but it still doesn't change the fact that I think Borderlands has, like, I know it's been patched as well since I last played it properly, but there are a lot of things where I'm like, well, I haven't played it yet, I haven't played it enough or online with anyone yet to see if I still get the visual bugs or the audio bugs. I've primarily just been messing around to see if I can get the frame rate up, but also, like, yes, it does run better, but it still has, you know, I still think the game maybe could use a little bit of optimization in some areas. But this is obviously significantly better than what I had been playing. If you've watched any of my old videos, you would have seen it looked pretty bad. And I think that was probably my graphics card, because I feel like my processor in my old machine was an 8-core. It was an older one, but it was very good for the time. So I think for me, the significant difference here is that I have a much more powerful graphics card. Like I said, it's a 580, so it's not like it's the end of line kind of like of the AMD stuff like that, but it is an 8 gig one, and it's powered. You got the processor in there is a Ryzen 7. So this computer's not terrible. This to me is a significant upgrade. We've got DDR4 RAM in here rather than DDR3. Currently only at like 16 gig. But which will eventually be doubled to 32, but I don't know how much that will make a difference to this. If it's, you know, I need to spend a little bit more time figuring out what is tanking the frames and things like that, and messing around with the settings. But overall, the point of this video was literally to see, does this run better, and was I too harsh originally? No, I wasn't. I definitely think my old machine could have run and should have run Borderlands 3 a lot better, and it doesn't excuse the visual and audio bugs I have. When we replay it, when I'm playing it on this machine, and I'll have it set up in a way that best suits me, it may be a case that I still encounter just as many visual and audio bugs because I'm playing online. And if that happens, then I'll talk about that as well. But right now I would say, like, yeah, the game's running better. It's not quite where I want it to be, because, you know, I need to do some tweaking and stuff. But overall, I feel like maybe they fixed a lot of stuff. So with patches, they've probably ironed out a lot of things. This tech, what I'm using now, is probably nearer to what they were using when they were making the game, unlike my older one. And so it's going to run smoother generally. And I know this game's got AMD support in it anyway. So yeah, overall, it's probably just a combination of what I've got in this computer now, what they were using at the time, and the fact the game's been patched, that it is just in a better state overall. So there you have it. There are my thoughts on it. I was very harsh on it before. I am less harsh on it now. The game seems to be in a much better state. So, thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, then hit subscribe. Links for Facebook and Twitter will be down below in the description. And until next video, I will see you then.